So beautiful people, like I said in many of my previous videos, Manny Pacquiao and Rolly Romero, Manny Pacquiao, the legend, the icon, the 8th division champion, the only 8th division champion in the history of the sport of boxing. The man signed to fight the charismatic enigma, the 147 WBA welterweight champion of the world. The powerful and charismatic enigma, like I said, Rolly Romero, the pride of Cuba. Listen, beautiful people. I've said this once. Listen, it's being reported now that this fight is expected to be announced any day now. And the only thing that I got wrong about this fight is that I said that this fight will take place in California, in San Diego. But now the fight is being rumored to take place actually in Las Vegas, Nevada, at the end of this year. I believe in the last week of December, Manny will be fighting Rolly for Rolly's WBA 147-pound championship title. And high stakes on the line, beautiful people. If Manny Pacquiao wins the fight, and I highly favor him to win the fight, and I'm going to tell you why, bear with me. If Manny pulls it off, which I'm hoping and praying that he does, he will break his own record as the oldest welterweight champion in the history of boxing. He won't just become the only 8th division champion in the history of boxing, but he will also become the oldest champion in the history of boxing when you talk about the welterweight division. Now, beautiful people, I've said this in many of my videos where I talked about Rolly versus Manny, the potential matchup. But now that it's officially happening, let me say it again. I was there. I was front and center in the States earlier this May, in the previous month of May. I was there in New York when Rolly Romero fought Ryan Garcia, beautiful people. And let me tell you, when I was watching that fight, and by the way, I picked Rolly Romero to beat Ryan Garcia. I actually picked him to knock him out. Now, even though he didn't knock him out, but he definitely dropped him. And the only reason why he didn't knock him out is because Ryan didn't want to engage anymore. But let me tell you, beautiful people, while I was watching that fight, I swear to you, I was like, oh my God, Manny Pacquiao needs to fight this man because Manny Pacquiao can knock out this man. And let me tell you why. Stylistically, it is a match made in heaven for Manny Pacquiao. If you actually look at Rolly Romero as a fighter and his fighting style, Rolly Romero, his best punch, his most underrated punch, the punch that sets up all of his knockouts, is his violent and vicious and powerful stab left jab to the body. He keeps on stabbing you to the body, and then he feints going for a stab to the body, but then he counters you and switches things up and smashes you with that vicious left hook and counters you with it and knocks you out. Or definitely drops you like he did with Ryan Garcia. But that punch did work with Ryan Garcia, but let me tell you why it will not work versus Manny Pacquiao. If you actually think about it, when I was watching the Ryan fight, Ryan is a tall fighter with a high guard, and Rolly was much shorter than Ryan Garcia, which was shocking to me how short Rolly was. And I met Rolly in person actually. Rolly, because he was way shorter than Ryan, and because Ryan was squared up in the high guard, Rolly was able to stab him to the body easily without being fearful of the counter. Why? Is because Rolly's stab to the body is long. But if you look at the history of Rolly Romero, whenever he fights someone who got power in the left hand, and whenever he fights someone who's not just powerful with their left hand, but someone who's shorter than him, he gets knocked out. We saw it versus Tank. Tank was shorter than him, and Tank's most powerful punch is the left hand, and Tank was a southpaw. And Manny is bigger than Tank. better than Tank, and to be honest, he's all around just a better fighter. And he also got that violent, vicious left hand. And even when Rolly fought the orthodox Pitbull, Pitbull's power was within his left hand, and Pitbull was shorter than Rolly Romero, and he was able to discipline and finish and hurt Rolly even in the first round with that left hook, whenever Rolly decided to get close. So stylistically, it is an absolute no-brainer, beautiful people, that Manny Pacquiao got everything it takes stylistically to beat Rolly. And not just that, he's simply a better fighter. Now, if I wouldn't have saw that Mario Barrios fight, I would have favored Rolly, because I would have said that, Manny is finished. But Manny definitely proved that he is everything but finished. And another thing, beautiful people, just because Mario Barrios was able to take Manny's power, that doesn't mean that Rolly Romero will be able to take Manny's power. If you actually think about it, when you don't have a 10-pound dehydration clause on Mario Barrios, it is nearly impossible to knock out the man. The only time where we saw him, hurt badly and knocked out was versus Tank. Why? Is because one, he was weight gained at 140, and two, is because he had a 10-pound rehydration clause versus Tank. This is something that not many people talk about, actually, beautiful people. So I wasn't really surprised when Manny started to land flush on Mario. I wasn't surprised that he wasn't able to knock out Mario. It's because Mario simply got one of the best chins in our time, beautiful people. But not Rolly Romero. Even though Rolly has definitely got a better chin at 147, but Rolly, stylistically, he's not as defensively responsible as Mario Barrios. Mario always keeps his hands up, and Mario is always standing in the correct position to be able to absorb a power shot and land the power shot. But because I watched Rolly live and because I saw the man fight, like right in front of me, I saw many openings for Manny Pacquiao that Manny can take, feinting to the body, going to the head, countering Rolly Romero with the left hand, and many other punches, beautiful people. And that is why I highly favor Manny Pacquiao versus Rolly Romero to not just beat Rolly, but to also knock him out. And listen, another thing, who also agrees with me? Manny's team and Manny's promoter, Manny's manager, Sean Gibbons. There's a reason why they didn't take the immediate rematch versus Mario Barrios. Is because stylistically, and even though, listen, Manny proved that he can beat Mario, but stylistically, Rolly Romero is a way easier fight for Manny, stylistically, and a way more sellable fight. Because, Rolly can talk more. Rolly, he simply, can bring more eyes to a fight based on his charisma, style, knockouts, everything and anything you can think of, resume, this and that. Yes, you know what I mean. But I am telling you, beautiful people, I'm telling you right now. I'm telling you. I promise you, Manny Pacquiao got everything it takes stylistically to beat, and not just beat, but knock out Rolly Romero. And listen, beautiful people, I met Rolly Romero. The man is so humble. The man was so gracious. He's simply an incredible soul. Like, he was so humble and respectful when I met him. And when I watched him fight, I was so happy for the man. And actually, I have a video I'm going to be posting on my channel, God willing, of me filming the second round, and the scenes in Times Square were absolutely chaotic. When Rolly dropped Ryan, the entire place in Times Square went absolutely nuts. And listen, 99% of the crowd were actually there for Ryan Garcia. Not for Devin, not for Jose, not for Barboza, not for Tiafimo, not for Rolly. But I was next to this guy who was a Rolly fan, and we were both cheering on Rolly Romero to finish the job. And thank God he did just that. Was so happy for Rolly. Wish him all the best. The man is incredible. But, beautiful people, I'm picking Manny Pacquiao to win the fight. And not just that, I'm picking Manny Pacquiao by devastating knockout with his left hand. Bring on the fight.